and per the numbers and what's been done is you're putting as much as through the combined effect of these reforms, close to about 6 billion, right, directly into the pocket of everyday Ghanaians. I do get the point that Mr. Obin has raised that for his subsector, the informal and the traders, there are issues there with the design that has to be addressed. So
one of the fundamental question he asks is, how do you determine who meets the threshold?
So
you must have a very effective monitoring system.
Part of the work. So we're actually going to be using, if you read the budget, there's talk of what is called the fiscal electronic devices, right? So these are basically your POS systems, the software systems.
I know a market, our informal sector, they don't use that at all.
I have gone to other informal markets around in Africa here, from Kenya to Zambia. I've actually traveled around quite a bit.
But we're talking about Ghana. I get frustrated when, now we don't like using money.
You do the Momo transfer.
Momo transfer, yes.
And
that they will accept. But POS...
yes, for some segment of the market, other segment, no. But the point I'm trying to make is that he's raised a valid concern, right? And we would have to sit down with them or his group to find a way of addressing that point. The tricky bit with all these reforms or policy issues is you have to look at the big picture. The big picture being that businesses collectively were complaining. The VAT was a disincentive to investment. Given the cost of business and other issues, the inflation and all of that, something had to be done about that. And that reduction is directly putting money, right, into the pockets of Ghanaians. For a segment, yes, there are issues with the design and the administration that has to be tweaked. But if you look at the big picture, and even the rollout of the electronic devices that I did mention, again, you look at the evidence base from Ethiopia to Zambia to Tanzania. Collectively, in 10 to 12 years since these devices have been rolled out, the evidence is clear. You see an increase in the revenues on the side of the government, but you also get less distortions in terms of the implementation of the tax. And that is really what is guiding the policy decision that we've seen here. So really, it's about tightening the base and having scrapped some of those funny levies that were there that was complicating the computation, and now making it a straightforward, right, tax calculation. Ultimately, you pass a lot more back to the consumers, and you can also claim the input VAT on it. And yes, he does raise, valid concerns about his segment of the market. But if you look at the big aggregate picture, which is really what drives some of these policy decisions, it's going to be a collective benefit for Ghana.